Greetings and welcome to this episode of Mike's Vehicle Vlogs, episode number 198. Almost at 200 vlogs, almost. It's cold, guys. A couple weekends ago, we had the huge snowstorm that dumped about a foot of snow, at least over here where I am. And today is the first of 2 days in which we are in this polar vortex. You know, cold start video. Not right now, though. We're not going to do a cold start video now. Kind of, but no. Hopefully tomorrow morning, before I go to work, I'll do a cold start video of all three vehicles here. The Fusion, which I'm in now, the Fiesta, and, of course, the broken Aztek. Now, I just got home from work. It is almost 5:30. There's still daylight, so this is great. You know, we're obviously getting closer to spring. Definitely does not feel like we're getting close to spring, but we are. The daylight is lasting longer now, so this is good. It's definitely a good sign. Tomorrow morning is going to be bad. It could be maybe close to 10 below when I leave for work tomorrow. Right now, at 5:25 in the afternoon, we are down to 4 below zero. And with the wind chill is at 22 below. So needless to say, I had a fun time at work today. And tomorrow, it's supposed to be colder from my understanding. So when I leave for work tomorrow, could be close to -10, possibly. So I definitely have to get all three cars started. This one didn't really want to start easily this morning, and even after sitting for me to go to lunch and coming home, with how cold it is, it was still kind of slow crank. So I'm really hoping that tomorrow this car will be alive for me to go to work. The Fiesta, I did start it this morning, and the Fiesta also was kind of slow, even though it's got a brand new battery. It had a couple of slow cranks in the beginning, and then it took off. And then, of course, the Tech, we can't really run the Tech unless it's off of this battery, because that battery isn't making contact all that well anyway. Now, I ran the Tech last night, and I'm going to run it now because of how cold it is, but I ran it last night. I actually let it get to operating temperature, let the thermostat open. Of course, steam from the radiator, as usual, so whatever. But I did get a top operating temperature, and I have noticed that my heat, I don't know if it's just because of how cold it was last night, like when I came out here, it was about 10 degrees and had it running. But my heat on the inside is actually kind of poor. I had good heat, and I know the Tech, even when I had my very first Tech, having heat in the car was kind of challenging when it gets really cold. It doesn't really get all that warm, so I'm hoping that's all it is. But whatever. Anyway, so this is an Aztek related vlog, you know, and being that, you know, it is an Aztek related vlog, I'm going to run my Aztek now, and after we start that, I will kind of tell you guys a little bit about what today's vlog is actually about. So let's get the jumpers on it, and we'll do an under hood startup this time. We don't really have the under the hood starts for a while, so since it's still daylight anyway. Let's go ahead and get it hooked up and do a cold start on the Tech. There she goes. Okay, she's taking off now. I saw a nice spark come from that. That's really corroded. Again, contact isn't all that good here and there. Yeah. I still don't know about that. After doing the head gaskets and stuff and still having this, I'm hoping it's because the seafoam might be breaking up whatever's left, but once it starts getting slightly warmer around here, which should be, well, hopefully soon if we get closer to spring, we'll be doing an oil change. This is clocking in at 6 below. So I just put in fresh gas yesterday because I knew we were having this freeze. The gauge is still kind of messed up a little bit. Security message. But the anyway, I'm surprised the service engine light's not on. He'll probably come back. It always does. But I'm hoping the fresh gasoline, the more fresh gas we put into this thing, the better it'll maybe start to run in the long run. Because I have noticed here and there it is running slightly better sometimes, and then when it warms up it starts to miss. But again, that is not necessarily what today's vlog is about. It is about an Aztek, but it is not about mine. I'm gonna let this run for just a little bit, and I'm gonna go back to the Fusion where it's nice and toasty. Tell you guys a little bit about what's going on in today's vlog. It's cold. That's the only key that I have. I don't think I'm gonna close it all the way. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so just to kind of start off the topic about today's vlog, I was kind of bored the other night, and you know, I was just Googling stuff, and of course something that I like to Google from time to time. It's cold. Something I like to Google from time to time is you know, Pontiac Aztek related stuff, and somehow I managed to come across an article which led to several other articles about the very first Aztek. Now, I'm not necessarily talking about the 1999 concept vehicle, which I wonder where the concept vehicle is. I always wondered whatever happened to it. If the concept vehicle was the actual production vehicle of the tech, things may have been different for it. Actually, don't know. Don't know if it would have been a good way, bad way, whatever. But anyway, I wonder where the actual concept Aztek is. But that's not the tech that I'm talking about. I am talking about the very first production Aztek, just like the one that I have, you know. So I found an article about it. And, you know, you don't really see a whole lot of cars, you know, like this, you know, normal cars, you know, you don't really see what the very first one off of the line was. And something I've always wondered, you know, for a long time was, you know, what was the very first Aztek that's available to the public like, you know, what was it? What was the color? What options did it have? And this and that. Well, lucky for me, I actually came across an article, and like I said, I found a couple ones after that, but it was from 2013. I guess the very first Aztek that was available to the public was up for auction on eBay. And yeah, it was the very first production Aztek, just like mine. And I'm kind of surprised at what it was, but it had the, you know, the VIN number, and it was, the VIN number ended in 001, so that is showing you that that is the very first tech that was off of the assembly line. Of course, mine is actually very far away from 001. My tech, I think, was made in October of 2000. So this tech had to have been made definitely, you know, over the summer of 2000. It was the first tech, and yeah, it was up for auction on eBay. Boy, if I had known, I would have tried so hard to you know, get my hands on the very first Aztek. How cool would that have been to have the very first Aztek? Now, I know a lot of people probably don't care about, you know, the very first Aztek. Obviously, I do. But to have the very first Aztek would be amazing. But I was very surprised. It looked like the Aztek at the time of the auction, it looks like it had been to auction before, and it was one of those, offhand right now, I won't know until we go in the house, but it was up for auction before by a very popular, you know, vehicle auction company who usually, you know, do things like hot rods and stuff like that. It's very interesting that this is, you know, the very first tech. At the time in 2013 that it was on eBay, it was under 8,000 miles. There was less than 8,000 miles on the odometer. So it was so old. And even in the pictures, I have pictures, I'll show you guys pictures. It looks immaculate. Amazing. Would have been so cool to get my hands on. Alright, so let's go shut off the tech, and then we will go in the house and actually get warm. Now she's sounding a little rough. Oh, she's getting warm. Yeah, she's missing now. She's starting to get warm. Temperature's starting to rise a little bit. So, I don't know if that maybe has to do with the cold. It's running really shaky. The message center is kind of flickering, so I know the car is not really running off of a battery. It's each time the car obviously misses, the alternator slows down, the engine slows down, so I think it's running completely off of the alternator at this point. So we'll go ahead and shut it off, and I'll probably end up starting it again tomorrow morning. Yeah, look at that. Completely dead. One day we'll get it figured out. Alright, I have hat hair. Sorry. I don't care. I had to wear a hat all day. I hate hats, and I hate wearing them. My head feels like it's got rug burn on it, but I had to wear a hat all day. So, whatever. Anyway, so as I was saying, yes, I came across you know, an article, and then I found a couple of other ones in regards to the very first Aztek that was for sale, you know, the actual production version. And, you know, I was quite surprised as to what, you know, the very first production Aztek looked like. Now, this was from a site called motor1.com, and I'll actually put the link in the description below in case you want to check out the actual article, but that seems to be where I found the most pictures that were posted of this particular Aztek. And boy, did this Aztek, it looked immaculate. It was so nice. And there again, I'm really surprised at the at some of the, you know, features of this particular Aztek. But let me show you guys the pictures. We'll scroll through these pictures, and you know, we'll take more of a look at what the very first 2001 Pontiac Aztek, the first production Aztek ever, what it looked like. Here we go. Okay, so from the looks of it, this is the first picture that I saw of this Aztek, and I don't know exactly who took the pictures, probably whoever was selling the vehicle up on eBay. Yeah, so I'm not trying to, you know, these obviously are not my pictures, but they are on this site, so, you know, like I said, if you really want to take a closer look at these pictures, you can find them in the article link posted in the description below. But I just think that these are pretty awesome pictures. They're kind of grainy looking, so they were probably taken in, you know, lower resolution. And they're going to be out of order. They seem to be out of, you know, in a strange order on this particular web page. But here it is. This is a 2001 Pontiac Aztek GT. We can tell it's a GT because of the rims, the 3-spoke rims. Those were a GT feature. Also, the color matching door handles was also a GT feature, but if you didn't get a GT, they were black handles for the most part. And you can tell that this is the black exterior color, so I'm kind of surprised that the very first Aztek was not red, because red was, you know, kind of Pontiac's signature color in a lot of the promotional photos and stuff of the very first Aztek. It was red. But no, so the very first one was in the black exterior color, and then we'll go on to the next picture. Barrett Jackson is who I was thinking of. You can see the tag is actually on the you know, back there. So Barrett Jackson, they're a huge auction company who usually specialize in, you know, very rare cars, hot rods, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, you can see how the back, you know, the back is still in wonderful condition. Here's a door pocket. So that's the driver's left rear door pocket or trim. Here's one of the dashboard pictures. We can tell that this GT, you know, doesn't really look any different from any other GT so far. It's got a leather wrapped steering wheel. It's obviously got the stereo controls on the steering wheel. It's got the information center. You can also see the controls for that here on the dashboard. The shifter appears also to be leather wrapped from what we can see in this picture. We'll go to the next one. Here's the driver door trim. You can see the pocket, the netted pocket, you know, doesn't look like it's sagging or it's been stretched out like mine. Mine looks like it's been, you know, worn. This one has the sunroof. Here's some of the information that came with it. You can see the owner's manual there, which the owner's manual looks like it's never even been opened up. It looks, you know, perfectly, no weird creases or anything. The warranty booklet's there. This bag is probably full of other GM information. The only thing I don't see here is the window sticker, which I'm kind of surprised. And you can also see the Aztek, the door pocket bags. You know, that's another GT feature. So those were also here. You can see those right there. This is a description of the vehicle. You can tell, you know, it's pretty much highlighting that it was the first production Aztek, and gives a brief description along with like the VIN number and such. Here's the way back look at how clean it looks. It looks really good. Kind of surprised that this, since it being the first production model, this doesn't have the Pioneer sound system in the back. So that's kind of surprising. Instead, it just has the two hidden cubby holes, you know, for more storage. Really surprised that it didn't have the Pioneer sound system. Here's a side view of that tech there. So it looks really good. The cladding doesn't seem to look like it's been unmatched or anything. You can tell that the vehicle looks like it sat for a long time in, you know, maybe storage or very well taken care of. But the mileage on it, like I said earlier, is like under 8,000 at the point that this was being taken. So the vehicle, for how old it was at the time, which was like, what, 12, 13 years old, and it only had about 8,000 miles on it. That's amazing. This is a side view of the back, by the way, sorry. The wheels look fantastic. Here's a front shot. You can see the headlights look like they are like nice and shiny. They don't have any of the film over them. The back side or passenger side of the vehicle, again, you know, nice looking wheels. And then a straight view of the back. The emblem is 100% intact. So yeah, and then the engine bay. Look at how this engine just looks immaculate. It looks, you know, clean. It doesn't look like there's a whole lot of the aluminum oxidation on there. There's a little black spot there, but you know, that's probably not that big of a deal. You know, the alternator looks good. The alternator looks, you know, new or newer. This pulley down here is nice and shiny. So it's amazing to see, you know, how, you know, fantastic everything just seems to look under the hood of the vehicle. Here's the one of the other door trims, another wheel close up, good looking tire tread. There we go. There's an odometer shot. 7,617 miles. That's incredible. 7,617 miles on the odometer at the time that this vehicle was going up for auction. And then here's a straight shot in through the passenger side, just showing you the front of the cabin and such. Again, another door trim. All the door trims look really, really good. You can see the rest of the dashboard. Going backwards, it doesn't appear that any of the dashboard is curling up. You know, the padding and such isn't really curling, so that looks awesome. This one's sideways, but whatever. It does have the dual zone climate controls. This one just has the single disc CD player, You can tell the screen looks like it's probably all perfectly illuminated when the display is fully, lit up. Again, kind of surprised it doesn't have like the 6-disc CD changer like mine does, being that it was the first production model. It did, of course, have the cooler. There's a straight shot through the back. You can also tell that the seats and the fabric and stuff, the seats just look like they obviously haven't been worn. And then it takes us back to the very first picture. So I thought that was really cool to see what the very first production Aztek looked like. But I took it a step further, and I did do a VIN search on the car through Carfax, and there's really not a whole lot of information that you can really get from Carfax. But I was curious to know the reason why I did this. I wanted to know if the very first Aztek is still on the road today, since this was done in 2013, July of 2013 actually, and I just wanted to know if, kind of like when I had my first tech. Is my first tech still on the road today? No, my tech was totaled in 2015 and is now non-existent. So, at least I knew where that was. But I wanted to know if this one was still out there. So, we do have, Carfax results here. Now, strangely enough, according to Carfax, it looks like this car, there was no information on it before 2009, which is kind of strange. So I don't know if that's just because it's a historical car. Maybe, it sat somewhere, never got used, title wasn't issued to anybody. I don't know, but it doesn't have the amount of owners that has had this vehicle. It only has 8 service history records. But yeah, so there really isn't anything before 2009, which is kind of strange. And in 2009, it looks like it was up for sale by a dealer in Texas. So there's that. That was in January of 2009. It said the vehicle was offered for sale. But then it looks like it actually stays at that dealership for a long time for some reason. So it looks like it's gone through numerous battery changes over the course between 2010 and 2012, but the car wasn't being driven from the mileage. It looks like the mileage was at 7,614 in October of 2010. It had a battery replacement at 7,717 miles, and then that was in 2011, and then in 2012 it had a battery replacement 7,743 miles. So the vehicle really sounds like it wasn't going anywhere at all. But then, like I said, we come to like the eBay and stuff like that. It looks like the vehicle was sold, and then it looks like it went to Missouri. So in 2014, it says a title was issued. New owner was reported. It was exempt from an odometer reading, so it didn't really have the mileage there. But it's in Missouri now, so that's where that left off. And then over the course of the last few years, there really isn't a whole lot here. Just updated registration, this and that, and this and that. But it looks like in May of 2017, it did have an emissions inspection, and it did... it doesn't say it didn't pass or anything, but I think it passed, obviously. But the odometer mileage really spiked. So at this point on, it looks like the vehicle has gotten a lot of use. It's up to 38,139 miles now. So the vehicle is obviously no longer in its, pristine. Well, I can't really say pristine, but the mileage is up. So it doesn't really seem like it's being used as a more of a collection type vehicle now. It's probably being used as an everyday, driver. And then it looks like in March of last year, 2018, it was in for service. Doesn't say really what it was, but it's still in Missouri at 43,687 miles. And then just this past July in 2018, it says that there was an alignment done, and the tire monitor system was serviced and checked two-wheel alignment was performed. So the last odometer reading, according to Carfax, it's now at 51,051 miles. And it's still in Missouri. So from the looks of it, as of right now, the very first Aztek is still on the road. And I'd still, it would still be really awesome to check out anyway, just to see the very first Aztek, not just from pictures, but in person. But it seems to be out there, and that's really awesome to know that the very first Aztek is out there. Unfortunately, it is in a way kind of sad that it's being used as a probably a daily driver or maybe a work vehicle or something at this point in time. But there again, it is still a piece of history. It's definitely a piece of Pontiac and General Motors history, and it is still an Aztek. So it does lead me to wonder if the, it probably may not still have the original coolant in it, but I wonder with how old the engine has been and stuff at this point, if those intake gaskets or head gaskets would eventually fail, since the vehicle for many years has sat for so long. Would that job come later on? Would it come right about now, or could it have already happened even though there was like only 7,000 miles on it? But just the fact that it sat and kind of stayed with that coolant and stuff, those gaskets still got eaten away or whatnot. But those are just questions that I'll probably never have answers to. But so there you have it, guys. If you found that interesting, I know I did. I just thought it was cool to see the very first Aztek. So that's really all that I have for today's vlog. I do want to say, since today is January 30th and tomorrow is going to be January 31st, I'll have this video uploaded for tomorrow. It's very rare that my vlogs are actually kind of like on time with the current time period, but I haven't really been able to film a whole lot with the weather lately and work, and so I haven't really had a whole lot of vlogs prepped for the next couple weeks or stuff like I usually do. But hopefully we'll be changing that soon. And that's it. If you enjoyed this vlog, give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Also check out teespring.com/stores/Mike's Vehicle Spotlight for all of your MVS and vlog merchandise. You can also check out that merchandise down below this video. And also, again, if you are interested in reading this article or looking at these 01 Aztek pictures, more up close or whatnot, the link for this particular article will be in the description also. That's it. I will see you guys next time. So thank you so much for watching, and take care.